Don't mind me over here, just trying to finish up a row. You know how it is. Fortunately, I'm not counting, or I'd have to be like 26, 27, 28, 29. Don't interrupt me. Hey, everybody. It's Friday. It's Good Friday, and it is a Good Friday. Well, I hope it's Good Friday for you, wherever you are. How are we all doing? Let's see. Oh my goodness, my comments are looking weird. Oh, Cindy's here. Hello. And Anne and Karen, Katrin. Hello. Let's see. Carol. It is summer in Virginia, 80 degrees. Whew. But only 62 for Anne. Interesting out in California. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, and 72 for Laura. I like that. 77 in Georgia, which I will be there shortly, although Bo tells me that it's supposed to be rainy all next weekend. What is that about? And I said to him, is this going to be our fate now? Every time we go to a festival, it's going to be raining? No, 2 times does not make a habit. Not yet. Oh, let's see. Hey, Shannon, glad to see you. Yeah, it's definitely in the 80s. I went for a walk this morning and it was beautiful and breezy. But I know it has warmed up out there. So, hey, Jana, that's right. Good Friday. So you are off school. I like it. Enjoy your day off. And yep, 80 on the Space Coast in Florida too. And Deborah Sue is here. Hello, Bo. Let's see. Lonnie, thank God it's Friday from Overcast, Dallas. Interesting. Okay. Hello, Star. And Tish is here. 70 in Syracuse area. Oh, my goodness. All right. And we had snow on Wednesday. Whoa. I hope that's kind of like a recipe for getting sick, right? When it's like when the weather goes up and down. At least I know it is for animals on Dr. Pole. That's what happens when the weather goes up and down and it's rainy a lot. All the animals get sick. Dr. Pole has to go out. Yep. Do y'all watch Dr. Pole? I love Dr. Pole. Hey, Sue. Susan. All right, I've got 2 Susans and one goes by Sue, I know. Sue, do you go by Sue? I think it's my other Sue that goes by Sue. See, I get my names mixed up. But I know it's important. Someone the other day in a text message typed out Caroline, and I was like, my name is not Caroline. Actually, it doesn't bother me as much now that I'm older. I kind of just, whatever. Call me Carol, Carolyn, Caroline, I'll answer. Anyway, all right. How y'all doing? Are you doing good? It's been another busy week here. Which, I like to be busy. I was telling Bo that I don't mind being busy. I don't mind working hard. So, and I've got my brown sugar shaken espresso again. Always have time for that on Friday. It's the first one I've had since last Friday, a week ago today. And I made it for everybody. And I always make mine last. That's just kind of how we do it in this house. If you're making drinks for people, you make the other people's first and then yours last. And I took a sip of it. And Morgan's like, blow your own horn much. I'm like, it's just a good drink. What can I say? All right. Well, let's see. We have, hey, Liz. Hey, Karen is here from Tulsa. I know we have Karen Sobel as well. Oh, yeah. I get that, Carol. Maybe it's just our name because now when I was younger, I didn't like Carolyn because like nobody else had my name that I grew up with. And so I kind of felt like it was odd. And so I wanted to be Carol. But now Carolyn's kind of unique. I like it. There are other Carolyns out there, obviously. All right. Shall we start with announcements as we normally do? Let's do that. I have some fun announcements, actually. So, I have a spoiler alert. So the monthly mini color clubs went out at the beginning of the week. So if you haven't gotten yours yet and you don't want to see it, look away. because here it is. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. I feel like my light is a little, should I cover my face? So I've been okay, ever since Bo, I just want y'all to know, Bo got me on TikTok, Swan City Yarns, and he started putting some videos up. So then I started doing some stuff. Eventually I took it over. And I have gotten hooked. Not, I mean, I don't spend, and I don't have time to spend endless amounts of hours, but like sometimes in the morning when I'm checking social media, if I have a minute, I'll quickly go over to TikTok and I have a couple people that I watch. And there's one that will, everything she shows, she puts her hand behind. And I don't know, is it probably so the camera will focus? That's what I'm guessing, because that's why I'm doing it. Because otherwise, if I share the screen with whatever I'm showing, then whatever I'm showing will blur out. So this is it. This is the monthly mini color club, and it comes with, it's called, I don't, is it Gerber? I've always heard it Gerber, like Gerber daisies, but that's not how it's spelled. Anyway, I'm calling it Gerber, like a Gerber daisy. And then there's a little flower stitch marker. So let me just tell you, I got the stitch markers for the next 3 months. And it's a good thing that there's an extra one in there for me, because otherwise, I'm sorry to say, someone would have lost their stitch marker. But anyway, they're pretty good coming up. I hope you like them as well as I do. She did a good job. And from Twin Mommy Creations does those for us. So yeah, that's good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Karen, you went to grade school with 3 Karens. Wow. Well, we have a lot of Karens in here too. So I guess that's just a popular name, right? And then of course there's the whole don't be a Karen thing, which it's funny because I don't actually know any nasty Karens. All the Karens I know are, yeah, because I've got a Facebook friend who's a Karen. Trying to think who else. But she's nice. Yeah, all the Karens I know are nice. Maybe they should have come up with a different meme for that. Liz, the variations on my name are people just call you Ruth. Interesting. Yeah. So Bo gets called interesting things too. A lot of people will call him Bob, apparently. Or so because his name is Sidney Edgar, his real name is Sidney. People will think, and Edgar, our last name, people will assume that might be the first name, so they'll call him Edgar sometimes. Anyway, good stuff. So what else do we have? Okay, your April fiber challenge, as you know, what is today, the 18th? So we're only about halfway through the month, right? So we've got plenty of time for you. And I'm noticing that some of y'all are still picking new challenges. I love that, or, new things to do. So that's wonderful. And you can keep right on doing it and posting. Just don't forget that if you post outside of the thread in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group, then use that hashtag SCS April Challenge so that when I go to pick the winner, I'll be able to find all of the posts very easily. So, by the way, I will announce that winner the very first Friday in May. I forget what the date of that is, because next week, I believe, is our last Friday, right? And I have bad news about next Friday. I won't be here. So, as y'all, I've been talking about it for weeks. Bo and I are heading up to Georgia for the Georgia Mountain Needle Arts Festival. I've heard from a handful of people, Swans, who will be there. So I'm very excited to see you all. And Friday is a festival day. So the marketplace will be open. So I'm hoping it's busy and I won't be standing around thinking, I should have said I would do a live. So anyway, because of that, there will be no live next Friday. I know, I'm going to miss y'all. So, but we got to do what we got to do. Ed Bogart, that's right. Yes. Bo and his son Harrison have a little spiel that they go on about that. He's Ed Bogar. All right. The other announcement that I have, and you may have seen it in the newsletter, is that Emily Wood Designs, has released a cardigan pattern called the Marsh grass cardigan. I kept in my head, it was like grass marsh, but I know that's not, that doesn't even make sense. Anyway, it's in your newsletter. There's a picture, and I'll post it again on social media. I did a story on it. Um, it came about actually as a part of something else that was supposed to happen earlier in the year, and it didn't. And but I had provided Emily with yarn, and so she messaged me this week and said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to release my pattern," and I was like, "Oh, all right, let's go." So as soon as she released it, I posted a story and with the link, and it's in, like I said, it's in the newsletter if you want to get the pattern. It's beautiful. I should have printed the pattern because I think it might be something that I'll knit. If you look at it, you'll see along the bottom here, there's these really cool, they're called dip stitches, I think she calls them. And it looks like marsh grass. And I think it's really cool. So, and she used the colorway Cavendish to knit it up. And it has buttons and all that. So I'm thinking that's definitely something I might want to knit later this year. So, and of course, it's done in trusty sport, which I don't carry a ton of that, but you all know that if it's something that you want to make and you want to use Swan City Yarns yarn, then just let me know if there's a colorway that you want and a quantity that you need, and we'll get you taken care of. And who knows, maybe we'll do a knit along with it later in the year or something like that. Hey, Evie, glad to see you. Glad you're here. Oh, you're off from school today too, aren't you? Very nice. Up to no good, I'm sure. No. All right, let's see what other announcements. I think that's it. Now, let me tell you, I don't have any Swan whips to show. There were, I had at least two, but I got sidetracked and then forgot to put them up. So I will save those for the next live, and I'll put them up. I know Anne finished a very awesome pair of socks that I want to show. So I will do that next time. Okay. What my projects? Okay. I'm going to show you, well, let's see. We'll start with the Stay Toasty scarf. Y'all remember that's the one. I haven't knit the Sophie scarf, but you know, the shaping of it reminds me a little bit of the Sophie scarf, except that it has a definite rib pattern to it. I should have printed this in color. I don't know how well you can see those rib stitches in there, but it's broken up, which makes it not a bad pattern to use. Let me find my page again. Got to put it back where I had it. A highly variegated yarn. So if y'all remember, I'm using Fat Tuesday, which is that fluorescent yellow and purple and green, you know, Mardi Gras colors. And here it is. So y'all, here's what I love about this scarf is that it has all the different, I say all the different, some of the different possibilities that you can get with a yarn that has color repeats in there. So here you've got some kind of self-striping going on. And then as it gets wider, it just has, sorry, my yarn is in the way. It just has a lot of nice color differential going on there. But up at the top, look at this. That is some distinct color pooling right there. How lovely is that? And I'm officially halfway through the scarf. So yeah, I think that'll be a good length. And especially once I block it, right? That'll be good. So yeah, so after this, I now start decreasing back. I thought about maybe doing a little section, one repeat of just keeping it the same. Well, actually, you wouldn't keep it the same. You would still continue to increase, wouldn't you? But I'm afraid maybe I should weigh my yarn because I don't want to run out of yarn. But I also don't want the scarf to be too small. I like to have plenty of room to wrap it in, and then and then have it hanging down. So maybe that's what I'll do. I think I will do that. I'm going to weigh this and see if I still have, if I've got well over 50 grams in there left, then I think I'm going to make it a little bit wider. And who knows, maybe we'll have more color pooling going on. I love that. Okay, so that's the Stay Toasty. So I worked on that a little bit every single day this week. And what else? Okay, the socks that I started. If y'all remember, I showed you this is String Theory Colorworks. I'm knitting Bo a pair of socks in those. And I ended up, purely because I had it in my stash, I went with the yellow. I think I told y'all last week that I was like, I don't know which color I want to use for the cuffs and the toes and whatnot. Well, I ended up finding Dole Whip in my stash. And I was eager to cast on. So I went ahead and used Dole Whip. And if you saw my post in the Swan City Stitchers, you saw that I'm doing, I didn't weave in my ends. I normally like to do that a little bit so that it looks prettier. I've gotten where I don't like my ends being out as I'm knitting. So I typically will weave those in as I go, but I apparently did not do that this time. Anyway, so I did a post in the Swan City Stitchers where I'm using Andrea Mowry's technique of combination knitting, which apparently, I guess it makes sense. You can do it anytime you purl. Essentially, all you're doing is, you know how when you go to purl, you wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the needle, which it takes more yarn than when you're knitting. So as a result, sometimes I finally pulled out another pair of socks. Sometimes that one leg on your ribbing of the knit stitches can look a little bit wonky. And it doesn't bother me. It's never looked bad or anything like that. But I did think, okay, I have to admit, my knit stitches do look a little bit better by, instead of when I'm purling, instead of wrapping the yarn, is that in focus? Instead of wrapping the yarn counterclockwise, when you purl, you go under the needle first and you wrap it clockwise. And then what that means is on your next round, you're going to have to purl through the back loop because your stitch becomes oriented the wrong way or mounted the wrong way. So, but I think it does look better. And as Laura's comment was, it looks sturdy. And so, yeah, I think so. I think that's a good word for it. It looks sturdy to me. Now, this is a knit to purl to. So, but either way, it looks good. I like it. I may do that from now on. Only when I'm doing ribbing. I'm not going to do it when I'm purling. Although Deb made the comment, I think it would be good if you're someone who, when you have to knit stockinette, knit one row and then purl back, if you have issues with rowing out because your tension is that different, then I think this obviously would help. And you can do it anytime you're purling. You just have to remember, you kind of have to change your muscle memory, because I know for me, I got used to it pretty quick, but I had to be sure that I was wrapping the right way because I'm used to wrapping the other way. So anyway, those are the socks. And I'm just doing straight up vanilla socks. Because I always like to have a vanilla project going on. These, by the way, they got a little wear on them. I just did a vanilla pair of socks with Into the Highlands, that colorway. That's pretty good. I wear these quite a bit. So that is that project. And Lonnie, you might want to maintain width for a bit to get the length you desire. Yeah, I'm thinking, but I'm just wondering, will it look funny in the center? But I guess you wouldn't notice the center because it will always be back here. Like if, you know what I'm saying? If you've got these two ends that are getting big and then you have like a rectangle in the middle. So I was thinking maybe I would just continue to increase. We're talking about the Stay Toasty scarf, by the way. Let's see. Okay, the Knitting Guild Association has tons of techniques to help with tension. Okay. Oh, interesting, because your knitting always looks so good, Lonnie. All right. And you do combination knitting when you do ribbing. I like it. Okay. I don't even remember how I happened upon that video of, I think I was looking for something else. Oh yeah, I think I was looking, I always have to review when I'm doing an I-cord bind off, that end connecting the two ends so they don't look wonky. I always have to look up a video. I need to bookmark a video. Anyway, I was doing a search for that. Came across Andrea Mowry's video on combination knitting somehow, and then decided, oh, that can be my new thing for April. So, yeah. Okay. What else am I doing? Okay. The third thing that I'm doing, and y'all may have noticed this, I did a video. I started the Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knit. I saw someone, one of the people I started following on TikTok is a knitter. I actually am kind of taken with her channel, not because she's a knitter. That's how I first found her, but it's because she follows a thrifty food plan. Her name is Kate, but there's multiple Kate. So anyway, and she's vegan, which I'm not vegan, but that doesn't matter to me. I'll watch what people eat in a day, no matter what their diet is. It doesn't have to match mine at all. Anyway, and she follows apparently the USDA has a thrifty food plan because I think she's a doctoral student. And so she plans her groceries and stuff based on, saving money and stuff like that. So she talks a lot about that. Anyway, yeah. So she was wearing this and I was like, oh, it looks so good. So I decided when I knew that I was going to release the Color Riot collection, I was like, I am going to make it in that, in some of those colors, which I will show you in a minute. But I'm hoping this will be a pretty quick knit. You hold a strand of fingering with a strand of lace weight it should be DK weight, but here's the thing. So, it seems to me when I had this happen that there was a sense of deja vu. So I need to remember this. I think this happened the last time I did a petite knit pattern. She tells you your big needle, like your main needle, should be a US size 7. Well, I knit my very first gauge swatch, and I always, when I first knit it, I don't even block it, because if it's way off when it's dry before I even block it, unless I just need it to grow, I know that when I block it, it's just going to be that much worse. And sure enough, so you're supposed to get like 19 stitches in 4 inches, and I got like 15. I'm like, what the heck? So I went down 2 needle sizes, which that was this gauge swatch. And I measured it when it was dry, and I couldn't tell. I knew it was a little bit off, but I was like, well, let me block it. And then I think with this one, so it's supposed to be 19. I think I got 17 and a half stitches in 4 inches. So that's going down 2 needle sizes, mind you. I went down a 3rd needle size and did this one at a size 4. And then, so this one, I think I got 21 stitches, which that's 2 more than I need. And I don't want it to be smaller, which is what could happen. So, because I already went with, she says, let's say, you're supposed to have, she suggests 2 1/4 inches of suggested ease. And my bust, I always remeasure at the start of every project. I just do, because I never remember. And I was at 36 1/4. So I figured the size 2 said 37 3/4. And y'all know I don't like a huge amount of ease. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go with the second size. So because that's only 1.5 inches of positive ease, I didn't want to go smaller. So I just went with a size 5 needle. That's this gauge swatch. And I keep all my gauge swatches, just so you know, they're all in a stack. in my, and the stitch marker is to show me what was the top of, my cast on edge. And yeah, so I keep them all. They're in a stack in my stash cabinet. So yeah. So that was so I knit like 3 gauge swatches. And then I ended up casting on, and this is where I'm at. And we'll talk about the colorway here in a second. Oh, it's really washed out. Oh, how disappointing. Y'all, this is a bright yellow. I hope it's not as washed out on your monitors or, your TV, whatever you're watching it on. This is, okay, so here's what I'm using. And we can segue right into the Color Riot collection with this. So I'm using Neon Moon. Oh, it looks so washed out on my camera. So sorry, Angie is watching on Instagram. Who designed? Are you talking about you might be talking about the Stay Toasty scarf. The Stay Toasty scarf, I should have mentioned that. Sorry, let me back up just a minute. I always forget. I don't know how to say her name. Kika? Here, I'll show it on the screen up there. Do you see that? But it comes up if you put Stay Toasty scarf. Yeah. She, in fact, I don't know if y'all, she was new to me as a new designer. And I went to her social media and started following her. Her aesthetic is a lot like Petite Knit, actually, I thought. Okay, anyway, let's go back to where we were. Neon Moon is a beautiful, beautiful fluorescent yellow. Y'all know have you seen me knit anything in yellow? But this, oi. And then the speckled version, which I called Sparklers. That was Morgan's input. She wanted to name it Sparklers. I'm like, okay, I like it. And so let me tell you about this collection. Okay. Here's one of the things that I've noticed going to trunk shows and festivals. Even if you're an introvert, hello, right here, you still want to be noticed. You want your craft to be noticed and recognized, right? And the yarn and the colorway can really help with that. I noticed at Nash Yarn Fest, my most recent festival, people who are walking around, it was the bright colors that really stood out to me and made me really look. Now, don't get me wrong. You're at a festival, you're going to look at everybody, that's walking by, and people come in, I take a look and, see if I recognize, or, oh, did you knit that or crochet that or, whatever. Obviously, but there's something about having either a design that's different or a colorway that's different that invites conversation, and it invites people to reach out to you. And I mean, that's kind of what this whole knitting and crocheting and fiber community, I mean, that's part of it, right? If you're going to a festival, if you're going to a trunk show, you're going to your knitting group, your crocheting group, wherever, your stitching group, like, you want people to admire your stuff. And so I feel like with this collection, that's really what I was going for. Obviously, beautiful colors, but something, colorways that are a statement. And so I think I got there. I'm very happy. And I have to tell you, this entire time I was very indecisive. It's not something I like about myself. Sometimes I'm very indecisive. Other times I know exactly what I want, and that's it. And then other times, I don't know if it's because I'm busy thinking of all the possible outcomes and, oh, but what if this and what, whatever. So sometimes it takes me a while. And this collection I have been thinking on this collection since I released the, what was the name of the last collection? The Happy Hearts? No, what was the name of the last collection? Anyway, with Queen of Tarts and Duke of Hastings, You're Blushing. I mean, literally, since that was released, I've been thinking about the next collection and I really struggled. But here's what we have, okay? So this one, I know it's going to be the most popular. Here it is. You've got those fluorescent pinks and yellow and turquoise in there, right? That is Sparkles, again, named by Morgan. She thought that it looked like sparkles, and I agree. So there's that one. It's full of the pinks and the blues that we love so much. And then there is Confetti. And this one, I don't know, this one might be my favorite. Oh, I don't know. It's so hard to tell. So this has the yellow. It has some orange in there, not too much. Because look at, sorry, my face is getting in the way. Look at that orange. I mean, it's bright, like it'll take over. So some yellow. I even put some black in there. Sorry, my camera not know how to focus. So, but yeah, I absolutely love Confetti. And then the one that I'm using in my Stockholm Slipover is Sparklers. So that has that same neon fluorescent yellow base as Neon Moon. And it's got, those are actually red and turquoise speckles that you see in there. Sorry, my face is in the way. And I knew as soon as I had figured this out, I was like, yep, Neon Moon and Sparklers together. Yes. It's a winner. So here it is. This is Neon Moon. And Neon Moon, honestly, would go with any of these because there is that same fluorescent yellow is in Sprinkles and Confetti and obviously in Sparklers. So you can't go wrong with Neon Moon. And then we also have, this is not new. Y'all have seen this before. Stargazer is this bright pink and obviously the the obvious choice if you're looking for something to go together would be with Sprinkles. I think it would be kind of cool to even pair it with Confetti. I mean, talk about your contrast. Hubba, hubba. All right. And then I had to do Paint the Town Red. As far as red goes, this is as fluorescent as you can get, is Paint the Town Red. And it obviously was meant to go with Sparklers. That is the red that's in there. So talk about some serious contrast. Hubba, hubba, hubba. And so there are 7 colors. There are 3 speckled and 4 tonals. And then Go Big or Go Home. This one, it does not even look good. Go Big or Go Home. What are you doing to me? I gotta tell you, I'm a little disappointed. It's not photographing well. I think I got it pretty darn close on the website. It is, just so you know, it is straight up bright turquoise. This was actually a colorway from Die Live is when it first came about. So this is not new either, but it just goes so well. So obviously it actually goes with all of the speckled. There's turquoise in every single one of the speckled colorways. So that's a good choice as well. I don't know if it's showing up well on your monitors or TV screens or not, because it's not on mine, unfortunately. But believe me when I say it is, talk about Go Big or Go Home. It is bright, it is bold, it's beautiful. I love it. So we've got lots of time to figure out what projects we're going to make with this. Some of you from your orders have already figured out what you're going to make. I've got Lonnie knitting a sample. I think it's funny. Is it Liz? I just saw the comment. Evie, I'm an introvert. I don't know, Evie. Are you really? If y'all have met Evie, people are drawn to Evie. She is wonderful. But if you say you are, then I believe you. Because I know some people are um, you know, it's on a spectrum. You're not like, oh, you either are or you aren't. It's very much a spectrum. And, I think sometimes with different seasons in life, we can be more outgoing than others. When I was single, I mean, you all know this. If you're a single person, you're much more likely to go out and have, your support system outside because you need that. We all need some interaction. I get quite a bit of interaction around my house. And so, yeah. And so I can get overwhelmed easily if I go out. So anyway, I love the whole introvert extrovert thing. It just, yeah, the whole psychology of it is just wonderful. I love it. I love to talk about it. So yeah, we can talk about that anytime. Let's see, Liz, you sound normal to me. I'm not sure what that's referring to. You have to clue me in sometimes. I know confetti is super fun. I love it too. And somebody said, okay, Liz, those colors beg to be a West Knits pattern. Yes, Lonnie, I have her knitting up the Stephen West pattern. I had never heard of it before. Batted, Batad. I should have a picture of that, but I will at some point, of the pattern. It is a mix between a shawl and cowl. It's much more a shawl, but it's knit in the round. Knit in the round because it comes over your head, but it's long. And the only reason I heard about it, a lovely young lady, Robin, she came in and She Sells Yarn when we had a trunk show there just a couple of weeks ago. And she was picking out yarn and was telling me that she had knit multiples of that pattern. And I looked at it and I was like, ooh. And I knew as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the Color Riot collection right there. So, and I'm having Lonnie knit it, just so you know. This will be the main color, confetti, with Go Big or Go Home. The pattern has these cool welts, which I didn't know what a welt was, but you'll have to look up the pattern. It has these cool welts between the sections of the main color. And yeah, that will be the Go Big or Go Home. So I am so excited about that. And then I've got a sock pattern that I talked to Laura about, and I got to figure out the colors for that. I'm thinking for that. I have the pattern out there on the table. I'm so unprepared today. I don't know why y'all even show up. I'm thinking for the socks, which are called, Laura, are you still here? Do you remember the name? Myers socks. That's why I couldn't remember, because I had such an odd name for a pair of socks. Myers socks. And it kind of looks like paint drips are coming down off the cuff. So I think it does it again up by the toe. Yes. And so I was thinking I might have her do that in sparklers and paint the town red. What do y'all think? That's what I'm thinking. Or I could do, well, I want to use that. We could do sprinkles with Neon Moon. I just feel like this would make the bigger impact. I don't know. What do y'all think? So this, like I said, this is sparklers and paint the town red. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to have her go with on that. So anyway, yeah, we've got time to figure out, and yeah, that's it. All right, what else? Oh, do you know Robin, Tish? I'm not surprised. Actually, I think we might be talking about a different Robin, because this Robin told me that she just recently heard of She Sells Yarn. She's been living in the area, but I guess she travels a lot back and forth to Chicago, and just recently heard of She Sells Yarn. So it might be a different Robin. Are you talking? You might be talking about the fiber turtles, Robin? If so, I wouldn't be surprised if she knit one up in doing a Stephen West pattern. Yes, it is a cool pattern, Liz, the batted. Hey, Michelle, made it? Oh, Michelle made it. Okay. I wouldn't mind seeing a picture of yours. You could send it to me. Just saying. Oh, and did I show you? I'm looking at it. Don't forget, this is the prize for the April Fiber Challenge. Dun, dun, dun. You get the fingering trusty sock, full skein, and then a mini as well, which I was I was kind of in the mood of fluorescence and things. And this one, To the Moon and Back, I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me of it. So, yeah, that's it. And I think I told y'all when I would announce it. Okay. So, and then May, our fiber challenge for May will start May 1st. I'll get, even though I don't remember if I'll be out of town. I'm trying to remember. I'll be back. Obviously, I'll be back before May. Yes, but I will when we get closer to May, I'll post the graphic in May for the May Fiber Challenge, which, as you all know, you should know, is we're doing a summer top stitch along. So don't forget, I've got, if you ordered a kit, that will be shipped out before I leave Thursday. So, in fact, some of them are almost ready to go. I've got some of them dyed up, and Morgan was doing some twisting, I know. So, and I do have some shipping yet to do today. So who knows? Some of them might be going out today. I just dyed up the coordinating cousins, salty, sweet, and candy coated. So if you've ordered those will ship by Monday or on Monday. Okay, so this is the Fiorellino pattern that I'm going to knit, just released recently by Isabel Kramer. So if you want to knit that, I've got some beautiful colorways on the website. If you don't like that, you want a different colorway, let me know. And you can knit a different pattern. Y'all know the rules. You don't have to use Swan City yarns for our challenges, and you don't have to knit because you can crochet a top as well. So you don't even have to use this pattern. But if you're going to, and you're going to buy Swan City yarns, and you want to make sure that you get your yarn before May 1st, tomorrow is the deadline to order your yarn, just so you know, because I got to get it dyed up and get it sent to you. Okay. And by the way, this color collection, you'll see it in some local yarn shops. Angie just requested from the Traveling Yarn Yogi, has requested some sock sets. So support your local yarn shop. All right. What else did I want to tell you? Okay. Some new things have arisen. You may have noticed it on the website. I did not put it in the newsletter. So I've mentioned to y'all that June 7th, I want to say it's the first Saturday in June, I will be teaching a class about mastering working with hand-dyed yarns. That's why I'm knitting the Stay Toasty scarf. And I've got some other little samples that I'll be knitting as well to use in the class. And so I will be there. I will also be teaching that class. Helen at She Sells Yarn has requested that I teach the class at her shop, and that will happen at the end of July. July 28th, I want to say. It's the last Saturday in July. It's on my website. If y'all know, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see all my events where I'll be, and I've got it updated. So on that last Saturday in July, I'll be doing a trunk show at She Sells Yarn, and I'll be teaching at 10:30. I want to say that's the time. The class on working with hand-dyed yarns. It's an hour long. And then right after that, we will be dyeing up some botanical scarves. No, the scarves are not botanical. The scarves are silk. But we will be doing botanical dyeing of the scarves. So which is why I'm wearing what I'm wearing today. This is a sample. So we'll use natural dyes and some flowers and things like that. And I plan on widening my horizon and getting us some new colors. I'm hoping, well, I'm not going to make any promises at this point, but so for example, this is a shorter scarf. This was the one that we did when I first introduced it and first went down this rabbit hole, was a smaller scarf that you see here. And then Now the scarves that we're doing are bigger just because I feel like you can do more with it and wrap it. Now, I feel like I'm wearing this one, but it's not, I didn't dye this one up for beauty aesthetic purposes. I did it to show the people in the class what some of the dye powders that I had looked like. Because they want to know what the colors end up being. So that's why you see rows of color. Do y'all see that? That's because because I can't pick out. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know what made that super bright pink that's in there, but that's it. Like, other than that, if I just throw down dyes, I don't afterwards know what made what. So I particularly or on purpose put these dyes down. And actually, this dark, almost black looking, those are hollyhock flowers in that middle row. I absolutely love that. In fact, I think I'm going to knit up one, not knit up, I'm going to dye up one scarf just with those hollyhock flowers because I love that so much. I think that would make a cool design. So anyway, where am I going with this? Yes. So on that Saturday, if you are local and would like to knit up, what am I talking about? Dye up. Come on, Carolyn, get it together. If you would like to dye up a scarf using botanical means, then you can choose either, what were the time slots? I think 12 noon or 1:30. So you can come in and dye up a scarf with us. Yeah, it's just a fun experience. And to see, you put down one color and sometimes you get a totally different color out of it. And so it's a fun experience. These scarves over time, they're silk, and so they really soften up as you wash them and wear them. And they're just beautiful. And they make good gifts. And yeah, it's something fun to do with friends. And yeah. So, oh, thanks, Liz. I'm glad you think so. Actually, it looks good on. I think so. I just didn't want y'all thinking, Carolyn, really? I don't know. I don't know why I felt the need to justify. I love you too, Evie. You do know Robin. Oh, no, you do know a Robin, Jersey girl who did the cow. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Tish. I promise there's nothing unique in this drink. It's just coffee. Thank you, Tish. I thought July 28th didn't sound right. July 26th. Yeah. So it's on the website. And on the front page of the website, there's a link to the classes. And if you go to, shop yarn all, they're right there, the class links. Now, if you want to do the class at Knit and Stitch Boutique, they have the class on their website, but I do have a link to it on the front page of my website. So you can register for either of them. All right, is that it? I think that might be all I have today. Is that possible? All right. Okay. So let me tell you this. I mentioned, so there won't be a live next Friday. I'm very sad about that. But I'll send out a newsletter with some highlights. And do know that, and I'll update the website when I leave, probably actually starting Wednesday, there will be a shipping delay. So if you order anything, I'll try to leave the website open as much as I can. And but when the days Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the actual days of the Needle Arts Festival, I'll probably have it closed. And yeah, so get your orders in. I'll take care of you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. All right. Yeah, it's Easter weekend. I don't know about y'all. I know growing up, we would buy these. Oh, I didn't even tell y'all. Hang on, back up a minute. I didn't even tell y'all the summer summer top stitch along for the Fiorellino. Do y'all want to know what I decided to go with? My colorway? I believe I was going between Leprechaun and Lollipop Sea. Well, Tracy placed an order for Leprechaun because I was going to go with, Bo thought I should go with Candy Coated, which is not even in that particular listing. But he said, ooh, that pink looks good for you. Maybe you should go with that. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll choose that. Well, Tracy, as I was saying, placed an order for Leprechaun. I was soaking her yarn, getting ready to put it in the pots. And I was like, I want leprechaun. So I put my leprechaun in with her leprechaun. And I'm going with leprechaun. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with. The decision has been made. The yarn has already been put in the pots. Thank you, Michelle, for the safe travels. Um, yes, and and happy Easter to all of you. What I was going to say was, I don't know about y'all, but growing up, we'd buy our Easter dresses, and they're always floral and light, summery dresses. And for some reason, Easter Sunday was either cold or rainy, like in complete opposite of what I wanted it to be. So we're going to hope that that doesn't happen this weekend. I hope y'all are enjoying beautiful weather. Get out, knit and crochet with your friends, or spin, whatever it is you do. Support your local yarn shops, and yeah, try and behave yourselves. I mean, we do our best, right? Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. It helps me out a lot if you like the video, and if you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe. And yeah, I will see you in 2 weeks, not next week. I'll try to remember to put up a post. 2 weeks. All right. Bye, everybody.